Hey guys, thanks for coming out here. Today I'm going to talk about the Bowflex Treadmill T10. The T10 is their latest treadmill that was released at the end of December 2020, and this review is going to help answer the question, are Bowflex treadmills worth it? So let's go over what we're going to cover. We're going to go over if this is a premium product. Where are you going to buy this? What about the specs? Are Bowflex treadmills good? And what's their return policy? What is not said in that policy? What about assembly? Should you pay for it? And then why your grandmother likes Bowflex treadmills. And we're going to look at the Bowflex journey and how it works. We're going to look at the warranty and customer service. And then we're going to look at that high failure rate on these treadmills. This episode has taken me forever to put together, and it's gone through tons of rewrites because it's the first time that I'm reviewing a product that I would recommend maybe you don't buy it right now. Okay, so Bowflex looks like they're going through some changes. They tried to make this treadmill competitive with the mid-range treadmills, and the new price point at $19.99 made it appear competitive with the $1,500 treadmills, but still above the mid-range price. And when you add in the taxes, the shipping, the assembly, you're right back around $2,600, which continues to put this unit squarely in a premium price range treadmill. So this is a big investment, and if you're going to put that kind of money out, you believe you're purchasing a premium product. Now, you can buy this Bowflex Treadmill T10 directly from Bowflex.com, from Best Buy, from most your major sporting goods stores, and of course on Amazon. The specs on this, they're a mixed bag. So let's look at the really awesome specs first. The hardware specs. On this unit, AAA rating. This unit knocks it out of the park. It beats everything out there. The motor on this is a 4 continuous horsepower motor. This is the only residential unit with a motor that large. This motor is the same size as commercial motors. So the Bowflexes before this had a 3.5 continuous horsepower engine, and that was the biggest motor for home use on the market before the T10. It has this interactive 10-inch console with an adjustable high-definition touchscreen. It goes from 0 to 12 miles per hour. It has this motorized incline that goes from a negative 5% to a positive 15%. The running path, 22 inches wide, 60 inches long, which is the best and longest length available. It has this Comfort Tech Deck cushioning, which has this great suspension when you run. Then it has this crazy hydraulic soft drop folding system for easy storage. It's Bluetooth enabled, so you can hook up your smart devices and your heart rate monitors. It has a heart rate monitor in the unit, and this unit also has the highest maximum user weight limit at 400 pounds. So that even beats some of the commercial units. So just from a spec perspective, this one exceeded every other treadmill on the home use market and some of the specs in the commercial market. And if you're a big guy, this is going to be the treadmill you want, and probably the only one you can use without breaking it. And when you get it into the house and assembled, this unit really shines. The unit was quiet, making it easy for my husband and I to add this to our living room because, let's be real, a living room is for living, and that's how we live. And just that experience alone made it my dream machine. Watching TV, I could jump on the treadmill and do 20 minutes. Making dinner, I could just walk over to the treadmill while things were cooking. It was super easy to integrate in my life in a way where my life didn't change. It just absorbed this treadmill into my everyday living. So then it comes to the specs on the electronics. And the specs on the electronics are more difficult to figure out and they're more like a C minus, D plus. You can't figure those out without using the Bowflex because you can't find this information easily or at all on their website. And it's not that Bowflex is misinforming you. They're just not informing you. And by not informing you, you make some assumptions that turn out to be wrong. The console on this treadmill is an HD 1080p screen. So the screen can do high resolution, but what's being delivered is 480p or 720p. So the walks around the world on my screen, they're 480p, and the instructor-led classes are 720p. And it's not my internet bandwidth. I've got a lot of bandwidth. So then I'm wondering if it's the processor. Bowflex doesn't mention their processor anywhere, so who knows? For some reason, though, Bowflex calls out that they have a USB port, and when you get the treadmill, you find out it can only be used as a charging port and is a USB 2.0 connector. Well, most our phones today use the current USB 3.0 standard that allows for high-speed charging and was released way back in 2013. So what Bowflex does is they say in their product manual, which when do you ever get to the product manual? Bowflex tells you that charging might not be enough to let you charge and use your phone at the same time. Okay, the treadmill is Bluetooth enabled, which allows you to connect to other Bluetooth heart monitors or to stream audio in and out from other Bluetooth devices. So like headphones or your smartphone. And the Bowflex speakers, they sound like small popcorn-sized tweeters that sound really tinny. So, and this is dating myself in boomer land, but I grew up with AM radios, and AM radios were famous for their flat, tinny sound. And the speakers on the Bowflex sound just like that.
Get ready for our first interval.
So besides looking dated, the Bowflex application has some annoying things like making you type your complete username and password to log in every time. The console can't save it, and it takes multiple steps to get anywhere on the JRNY application, so that's not very user-friendly. And it's only been recently that software has taken a lead role in delivering home exercise equipment, and I don't think Bowflex took that seriously. At the end of the day, this is what I thought using their application and technology. It felt like Bowflex made their name delivering great hardware. And it's only recently that software has taken a lead role in delivering home exercise equipment, and I think Bowflex got caught on this. They made some decisions based on what has made them successful in the past, and based on their roots, they didn't consider this new trend of software delivery seriously enough. You're going to see a little bit later what happened with this delivery and why this delivery probably hasn't been their most successful when I start looking at their application and their warranty and customer service, because you're going to see that they took their very old 1990s software delivery that was really cool in 1990, but it's not today, and tried to squish it on the new cloud platform. Okay, it's time for the return policy. What don't you know? This is pretty important, and here again is that thing where it's not that Bowflex misinforms you, it just isn't obvious. So on the treadmill page, they advertise this buyback guarantee, which leaves you feeling pretty confident in your purchase. And even clicking on the Learn More option takes you to a page that highlights the 6 weeks, no questions asked. But here's the thing. It isn't free. And I skimmed over this first paragraph and didn't read the last sentence of the return policy. Well, let's be real. I didn't even get to this page because the buyback guarantee said I could buy with confidence. All I had to do was give a call within the first 6 weeks to get my return number. Okay, so what did I miss? You have to pay for shipping back. And I believe shipping back's about $250. You're also not refunded your original shipping of $99 and the assembly fee of $250. So that comes out to about $600 that you're going to lose just for trying this out. And there's some other problems with that 6 weeks, no question asked policy that I'll get into a little bit later in the warranty and the customer service section. So is this the industry norm? Yep, it appears to be the industry norm. I think if I had understood the return policy in detail, I probably wouldn't have purchased this unit. I was buying into the marketing hype. I mean, look at that nice stamp broadcasting their buyback guarantee. It seems pretty safe, and my biggest concern with this unit was that I couldn't try it out, so I was worried I wasn't going to like it when I got it. Now, if that buyback guarantee stamp said, buy with confidence and for only $600, we'll take this unit back, no questions asked, I wouldn't have bought this. Well, what's done is done, and no use crying over spilled milk. Okay, assembly, should you pay for it? And I'm going to suggest if you can swing it, pay the $250 for the installation. This Treadmill T10 has a lot of pieces. There are a lot of wires that need to be threaded gently through things. And let me tell you, some of the wiring seems a bit flimsy. I think it takes a lot of attention to detail and quality checking throughout your process. And I think it took my husband about 6 hours. And that was the first time assembling. He had to find the instructions. The instructions aren't easy to find. So, it takes a little bit of time to really get this thing together. And I have a friend who paid for installation. So 2 guys took 2.5 hours, and they had done this multiple times. So the process is time consuming. Now, here's another thing you'd probably like to be aware of. The person who delivers the treadmill is going to be different from the assembly team. The drivers drop it off outside your house, even if you pay for installation. In this box that's large and heavy, it's about 6 feet long and 1.5 feet high. It weighs over 300 pounds. The driver who delivered my Bowflex was only one person delivering the box, and they had to use a pallet truck. So you have to haul this monster inside. My husband and I opened up the box and took the pieces in separately. I'm sure my husband wasn't thrilled that I was his partner in trying to haul this in the house because the base is still 250 pounds. So it's going to take 2 people to bring this inside. Now, this isn't just a COVID-19 thing. Again, the drivers that are dropping this off, they're only one person, and they're using pallet trucks in order to just use one person. There's just no way one person can get this box in the house. And here's the other thing you want to know. Installation, it's a separate team. It's not the delivery team. And the installation team is subcontracted out through one of your local sports retail chains. Here's the thing you didn't know. They're not going to be there, and they're not even going to be scheduled to be there when your Bowflex gets delivered. Assembly, it's not going to be scheduled until after your Bowflex is delivered. So it takes a minimum of a week to get your installation team scheduled. Using the Bowflex treadmill. Why your grandmother likes this treadmill? Well, it's going to be that JRNY app. And that's the app which comes with the treadmill. And okay, I got to be honest, the app is very boomer friendly. It's like they took their software delivery from 1999, added a marketing campaign, and rebranded it as something new. Even the motivational voice is tragically uninspiring, and it's the same voice you heard in your equipment from way back then. Okay, and listen to this. Doesn't it sound like you're with Ripley on the alien ship? Right? It's got me looking around for aliens. Now, if you pay the $19 a month for the JRNY subscription, it's going to allow you to log into your Netflix, your Hulu, your Disney, or your Prime account to watch on your 10-inch console. And that's right, that's the console that's currently giving me 720p resolution, not HD. So that's not motivating either. And you have to be paying for the JRNY app to get to see your programs on this Bowflex console. Okay, all the training programs are pre-recorded on-demand trainings, so no live classes with this app. They have these walk around the world classes where you get to walk through someplace beautiful, and I have great internet speed, and even with that great speed, it takes a while for the image resolution to come through, and it's still not HD. Now, the one thing I notice when doing these walks around the world is you get to do them in a straight line and there's no sound from the area. So you just get to walk by these buildings and all these neat things that you really want to walk inside and look around. So the walking in a straight line, the difficulty getting the resolution, the lack of sound, and the inability to explore these really neat places made the walk around the world option a bit meh. Technology is really advancing right now, and you have to try and hit on as many sensory inputs as possible. Just delivering video was enough in 1990. So if you're not doing the walk around the world, you have pre-recorded workouts, and part of the program workouts are graphic with an uninspiring voice to motivate you. Or you have trainer-led workouts, and here's the thing. The trainer-led workouts feel like you're at a corporate training seminar. The film angles, they lack imagination, and they just kind of randomly move around like you're playing ping pong with no real storytelling. The trainers are corporate friendly, and that makes them great for explaining how to cook something, but not very inspirational for a workout. Now, what they do have in this app is something that they call adaptive technology. And this is where you start out with your goals and an assessment. Then the software adapts the workouts to your fitness level based on your previous workouts. And I have some older boomer friends who really like that. I tried this adaptive workout and it wasn't really working for me. The workouts seemed to be underperforming my ability, but I didn't get to use it too long because the unit melted down 2 weeks after delivery. And I'm going to talk more about that in the warranty and customer service area. So that's why I call this app boomer friendly. They repurposed an ancient software delivery. They took all its faults and made them a positive by marketing it to an older crowd. And let's be real, the older you get, the less you want to learn new things. You don't want the pressure of someone yelling at you or pumping up the volume. You don't listen to any of the new music, so who cares about that? And you want soft, light colors that are calming and easy to see. And to make it easy to keep your focus, you want the camera angles to stay in one place. You don't need all that splashing around with all those radical colors. Now, it's not a delivery I personally like, but it's not a deal breaker for me either. I was just planning on using somebody else's app that was more to my liking. Now, the one thing I really liked about this app is it logged and kept a record of all your workouts. And because the screen is so boomer friendly, it was easy to find. And that part is still supposed to work even without your JRNY membership. So this is where you start to notice that Bowflex is going through an identity crisis. Here, their software is strongly geared towards boomers, which is probably a fading market, especially because I'm the tail end of the boomer generation and all my boomer friends already have a treadmill. So they use these cool words in their advertising and marketing that don't make much sense and try to repurpose an old delivery to a younger crowd. But, as a customer, you're thinking because they're saying all this stuff that they actually are delivering a modern solution. And then you see the app and you say, wow, that's really dated. And you're thinking you're going to get live classes that will get you motivated to get up and hook up with all your friends before work. And there's none of that. You're thinking you're going to get some personal shout outs from the instructors. And if you're there for their classes every day, you'll get some personal recognition. Nope, none of that. Now let's look at the hardware. The hardware is a different story. It's quiet, and I can't really let you hear how quiet it is, and you'll figure out why when you go through the warranty and customer service section. But it is really quiet. It's really smooth. The belt's really smooth, and it changes speed really smoothly. The Comfort Deck cushioning technology, it does add a bounce in your step like a rebounder. And if you've watched any of my videos on removing phlegm in the body, rebounders are one of the critical things I need. This cushion deck technology, I find that it works similar to a rebounder, and it really helps move the fluids in your body, whether they're pooling in your ankles or getting stuck in other areas. That technology, it just adds this really nice vibration that helps get all those fluids moving. Now the treadmill's stable, at 323 pounds, it better be stable. But whether it's me or my husband, it stays solid on the floor, and there's no way you're going to tip this unit over. So you just fall in love with the hardware. Okay, so now you know why your grandmother loves this machine. It's because the software is ancient and the hardware is reliable. Warranty and customer service. Wow, we're finally here. We're finally at the warranty and customer service. And you want to know about the warranty and how it really works right now, because it looks like this treadmill has a high failure rate, like around a third of them. And you can do some research on this, and it might even be higher than a third of them. So I'm part of the lucky third, and I'm going to be able to give you some real life experience on how this really works right now. So let's look at the good part of this first. The warranty, it's 15 years on the frame and the motor. It's 5 years on the mechanical parts, 1 year on electronics, 2 years on labor. Now, you can extend the labor coverage to 5 years for another $199, but let's be real, if you assembled it yourself, I don't know why you would need to do that. Now, all of this sounds really good, and let me tell you, parts of this warranty are even longer than high-end products. So let's look at what's in the warranty, and then we'll look at what happens when you use the warranty. Now, this warranty is for repair or replacement at the company's discretion. And reading through their warranty, they use new parts. Now, you probably didn't know this, but some of the companies indicate they can repair with used parts. I didn't see that with Bowflex. Now, the other thing Bowflex says in its warranty is that Nautilus can replace the equipment if it can't be repaired. And the next sentence is disturbing because they say they may provide a limited prorated credit based on the length of ownership for another piece of equipment from Bowflex. And so that has a million interpretations, but I'm guessing that limited means you only have so long to use it. But they don't clarify in what situation they would give a credit instead of replacing or refunding the unit. And I'm thinking that going over that 6-week return period might trigger that credit, but I'm not sure. And it would be great, again, if Bowflex would clarify this. And again, this is what I say when I say they don't misinform you, but they don't really tell you either. Now, the other thing is that repair service is only provided within major metropolitan areas. So outside these areas, and you're going to need to pay for mileage. I have no idea what the mileage charge is, They don't identify what they're using as a reference benchmark to charge mileage. So that kind of feels a little bit up in the air because it would be really easy for them to say, hey, we're using the IRS annual mileage rates. Now, if you have to return a component or the product for repair, you have to pay for shipping to the repair center. Okay, so that's the 50,000 foot level on the warranty. So let's look at what happens when you use the warranty. So I had purchased my Bowflex from the company because of the company name and the perceived quality I would receive going directly to the company. And since this was a premium purchase and the add-ons pushed the price point into that premium category, I just naturally thought I would get better results going with the company. That's not what happened. I did have a warranty issue with the product exactly 2 weeks after getting it. The console just melted down and died, and the whole unit was bricked. I mean, you couldn't use a treadmill at all. So each time I called, it was an hour wait on the phone. And I get that the first time, but every time was exactly an hour wait. So how does that work? You know, maybe once, twice, you would get an hour wait, but at some point, you would have to get a shorter wait time or a longer wait time. Nope, always an hour. And I had to call every few days for a couple of weeks until they agreed to something. And then I had to do all this follow-up to make sure that it was getting done. So for a premium product, there's absolutely no butler concierge service. And I think this is another part of this identity crisis. They were still telling the consumer they were purchasing a premium product, but were trying to deliver a mid-range service expectation. And it took 3.5 weeks just to get the first part sent to the house, and another week for the service techs to come out. So the first fix happened maybe 4.5 weeks after I made the initial call, and that didn't fix it. And unknown to me, I had just slipped outside their buyback guarantee window. So here's the other part about why I think there's a problem with the buyback guarantee right now. Just to get past the first try at fixing the treadmill took me past the buyback guarantee window. And since the first try at fixing the treadmill, I've gone through 2 more tries, and each try has the same time commitment. It's about a month in duration, and it's about 10 hours on the phone. And here's the really weird thing. The Bowflex engineers don't work with the techs that come out to your house. So it kind of feels like the techs are left a little bit stranded by Bowflex, especially since they're subcontracted and not employees of Bowflex. Now, the second fix, the second part that was sent to me, Bowflex sent the wrong part. So I was into it for another 10 hours and another month. And the third part, it was the correct part, and it got the treadmill running. So the third part was sending out the console. But there are still things broken with the treadmill, and now I have this really annoying crackly sound coming out of the speakers constantly, and it's really loud. So remember earlier when I said I'd show you how quiet this is, but I can't? Well, that's why. And the contact heart monitor sensors on the treadmill don't work. So I've got to call Bowflex again. And I know it's going to be 10 hours of my time and a month of waiting. And being that I only have a year on electronics, I really have to stay on top of it. That is just how this whole Bowflex experience has been going for me. Okay, so that's a wrap. If you look at all of this together, right now might not be the best time to buy this treadmill. The treadmill has a high failure rate. Now, that could be because of COVID-19 and the difficulty getting the silicon that makes the sensors and the chip. So maybe when our supply chains start to normalize, the problems with the failure rate will correct itself. but it could be for a lot of other reasons. And the high failure rate wouldn't be a problem if they could fix it. But the customer service team appears to be overwhelmed, and their engineers are not working with the techs to troubleshoot the problem. So they keep on fixing the wrong thing. And it's on you, the customer, to put in the extra hours to verify things have been communicated internally with the company, to coordinate between Bowflex and their subcontractors, and to verify things like making sure the part has been shipped. The return policy is a little bit tough, especially because of the high failure rate and the time it takes customer service to even address the problems. So your probability of getting a lemon is high. And all this boils down to you are going to be out a lot of time or money with this treadmill or both. Now, if I didn't get one of their lemons, I would be saying this treadmill walks on water and you couldn't buy a better alternative. Okay, that's a wrap. And thanks for coming out. And until next time, I'll catch you on the other side.